So the first question is this: does this job serve my big picture? So when we talk about big picture, we're talking about that big vision of success that you have for your own life. When you close your eyes and you really think about how you want your life to be and who you say you want to be and how you say you want to live, does this job serve that big picture? If time is the only non-renewable resource and you are trading it for an amount of money, but it is costing you a piece of your soul and sanity, is it worth giving up that much of the only non-renewable resource you have if it's going to continue to cost you that much internally? The answer to that, it is no. The second question: do I have a deeper sense of connection to or see more of my purpose revealing at this job? Is it possible that your purpose is the most important thing in your life? If you were created for a reason, you have a reason for being, then knowing that reason and working in that reason with the thing that you spend the majority of your most non-renewable resource on, you spend 80% of your life on your job. That is your time. Time is a non-renewable resource. Shouldn't you then be spending your most precious asset on the thing that you were created to do, be and say? Third question: do I know with a unique sense of certainty what I am uniquely called or qualified to do? And second part, can I do that here? The fourth question is, this one's real: do I work this job only to pay the bills? Anything you are doing solely for the purpose of making money, stop it, because it is blocking what you are meant to and intended to be and who you are intended to be in this world. Anything that you're holding on to just to create the revenue for it, it's blocking something else. The fifth question says, do you feel like the best, most authentic version of yourself when you do your job, where and how you are doing your job? Because it's one thing to do the work. It's something else to put the context of the work you are doing in the location you are doing it in. Sometimes it's not the work. Sometimes it is just the location. When you do what I do for a living, you talk to a lot of people that are just feeling not sure about whether or not they should quit their jobs. Like, it's a good thought, it's a good idea, but maybe they're not feeling super confident about whether or not they should. And usually that has something to do with, it's a fairy tale. Quitting my job feels like, oh, something nice I can consider if I were 12. If I didn't have my responsibilities or my family or my bills, then I could consider quitting my job. And so a lot of people dismiss it as an idea. And that is something that I want to talk through today. Because ultimately, it's super easy to say, oh, I don't have the luxury of quitting my job. I don't even have the luxury of considering quitting my job because I'm a grown-up. Here's the deal. There are a lot of things to consider when you are thinking about quitting your job, but there are like 5 questions that are true to life questions. There's a lot of them that we could talk about today, but there are 5 of them that if you ask yourself these 5 questions and the answer is no for 3 out of 5 of these questions, then you've definitely got to quit your job. You don't have to quit your job. You can do whatever you want. And legal disclaimer, this is just my generalized advice. You can do what you want. But if your answer is no to 3 out of 5 of these questions, then I can guarantee you that you are living below your purpose and intended meaning in this life. And if you are doing that, then no matter how much money you're making, you're only going to be but so successful until you make this switch and make this change. So I want to walk you through these 5 questions and let's talk about them a little bit and see where we get with all of these things. And I mean, ultimately, you already know the answer. I'm just going to give you the language to help support you as you're making the definitive decision moving forward. So the first question is this: does this job serve my big picture? So when we talk about big picture, we're talking about that big vision of success that you have for your own life. When you close your eyes and you really think about how you want your life to be and who you say you want to be and how you say you want to live, does this job serve that big picture? The reality is like this: your job is meant to serve your life, not for you to serve the job. And a lot of times when people are working, they're working in service to that job. Leadership is all about serving, and that is absolutely true. And having a servant's heart as a servant leader. And I understand that. That's not what I'm talking about here. When I say serve the job, I mean that the only real thing that's happening is that you are receiving a paycheck for what feels like a piece of your soul because it is so compromising. So it's not enough to say I'm getting paid for the piece of my soul that I'm giving up here. It is a question of whether or not you are getting more added to your soul by the job that you have. And I know, I get it. A lot of people always say, hey, the job is just a job and you don't have to like your job. It's not accurate. And I can only say definitively that it's not accurate because of the amount of time that you spend on it. If time is the only non-renewable resource and you are trading it for an amount of money, but it is costing you a piece of your soul and sanity, is it worth giving up that much of the only non-renewable resource you have if it's going to continue to cost you that much internally? The answer to that, it is no, because your life cannot be duplicated and it cannot be rolled. We can't roll back the clock. That's not a thing. All you can do is go forward. So if you are giving up your time, your energy, your effort, your talent, your calling to a space that is taking the time from you, which is fine, in exchange for the paycheck, which is also fine, but it is costing you a piece of your soul and objectively and materially disrupting the quality of your life, it is not worth it. That's it. There's no like, oh, maybe, no, it's not worth it. So then, is this job contributing to, is it serving the big picture of your life that would then allow you to live and feel in a successful way? That's a very important question for you. I wrote this note down because I want to make sure that I say that I love, like, what is this stuff called? I love alliteration. If the job is not able to fuel or fund the big vision, then it's not the right job for you. And fuel doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily. That's why it's separated. Fuel could be skills. It could be relationships. It could be connections. It could be experience. Funding is funding, and that's, something else. But at minimum, if the job is not fueling or funding the big vision, then it's not the right space for you to be in. The time of us staying in jobs and spaces just for the sake of being there and calling it, oh, I got bills to pay, that's over. There's too many options for you. You have an infinite number of options on how you make money. Yes, you need money, but how you make money can be different. It doesn't have to be the same way. Okay, so here's the second question. Do I have a deeper sense of connection to or see more of my purpose revealing at this job? Is it possible that your purpose is the most important thing in your life? If you were created for a reason, you have a reason for being, then knowing that reason and working in that reason with the thing that you spend the majority of your most non-renewable resource on, you spend 80% of your life on your job. That is your time. Time is a non-renewable resource. Shouldn't you then be spending your most precious asset on the thing that you were created to do, be, and say? My answer would be yes to that, right? So if the job that you're working in doesn't take you one step closer to that purpose, or you don't feel it being revealed, because listen, people say it all the time, like, oh, it's overrated. You don't really have to know what your purpose is, and you definitely don't have to work in your purpose. And that's fine. I mean, I get that as an opinion, but as I just kind of outlined, like, you were created for a reason. So if we start with that premise, and then we look at the amount of time, your non-renewable resource that you are spending in your life on work, then doesn't it make sense that you would spend your most valuable asset on the thing that you do with the most time? That you would spend your most valuable asset in its highest quantity, which is, for work, on the thing that you were created to do. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? So then it's super simple to say, oh, it's not that important. It's not that big of a deal, but kind of isn't it? And the one thing I will say is if you don't know your purpose right now, that's fine. If your job is helping you uncover that purpose, reveal that purpose, if you start to get more curious about what your purpose could be as a result of the job you are working in, that is not bad. It's not like you have to go sit in a corner or at a monastery to figure out your life purpose, and then once you figure it out, you can then go do a job. No, you can work now. And as long as that work is making you feel closer to or more curious about what you were designed and crafted to do, then totally in alignment. Unveiling, unraveling, uncovering your purpose is kind of a thing. Like it doesn't like wake up at 5 years old. Some of us do, but it's not like you wake up at 5 years old and go, I know exactly what I'm going to be in this world. No, you got to live a little. You have to have some experiences. You got to know what you don't like sometimes in order for that to become true. So this is like the most practical application of that, where it doesn't matter that you know exactly, but if the work you are doing, if the way that you are spending 80% of your life is bringing you closer to it, then I would say that that's going in a good direction. So what is the answer to that question? Do I have a deeper sense of connection to or see more of my purpose revealing at this job? Third question, do I know with a unique sense of certainty what I am uniquely called or qualified to do? And second part, can I do that here? So after the first thing, like, do I feel like the job is giving me a deeper sense of purpose and calling and thing, or at least revealing it to me? Then, okay, at some point you have to ask, do I know what it is? All right, if I know what it is, if I'm clear that I am a communicator, I'm a trainer, I'm a corporate trainer in this, in this case, and a coach, and I know, help people connect with their purpose and brand and how that works for them in leadership development. Okay, cool, I got that. Can I do that in the company that I'm in? If the answer to that is yes, great, keep on rocking. Or if it's yes, but you're not working in that domain right now, that's cool. Now you know what direction to move in as you're traversing through the company. You know what department you want to be in. You know who you need to talk to, what promotions you need to be on the lookout for. The deal is, if you don't know what that is, and the job is not helping you uncover more of what your purpose could be or what it feels like to live and exist inside of your purpose, now it's time to start thinking about quitting the job. So, do I know with a unique sense of certainty what I am also uniquely called and qualified to do? And can I do that here? The fourth question is, this one's real, do I work this job only to pay the bills? I have been saying this since 2017 when I first blurted it out in a workshop. It rang so true to me, and it's still true that almost 10 years later. Anything you are doing solely for the purpose of making money, stop it, because it is blocking what you are meant to and intended to be and who you are intended to be in this world. Anything that you're holding on to just to create the revenue for it, that's it, it's blocking something else. Every time you say yes to that, it is a settling in your life. Every time you say, I'm going to show up with my most precious resource, my time, and I'm going to give it to this thing only for the money and for nothing else, not for impact, not for, growing in the world, not for unveiling more of my purpose and my calling and my reason for being, just for this paycheck, you are dampening your reason for being. It's preventing you from shining fully. It's preventing you from showing up fully. And that showing up fully is what allows you to create the level of impact in this world during the time that you have, that you were created to create. You were created to create an impact in this world. If you are continuously giving yourself away, giving your time away, that most valuable resource that you have away to something that only is giving you money and nothing absolutely else, and is also sucking a piece of your soul out while all this is happening, your ability to impact the world is diminished. It's just diminished. And there's not a way to get it back to the point where you can create that impact that you were created to create until you are willing to let go of the thing that is stifling it. So a good way to think about this is the other question that I really like to ask a lot is, if you had $20 million in the bank, would you still get up and do what you are doing, where you are doing it every day, or would you do something else? If I had $20 million in the bank, or for some people, like whatever represents financial stability to you, if you had that in the bank, would you get up and do what you are doing right now every single day? That is the answer to the question about whether or not you're doing it just for the money. Because if the answer to the question is, nah, I wouldn't do this every day. I wouldn't do this job if I had 20 mil in the bank. 20 mil in the bank, I'm out. I'm going to do whatever you put in that blank instead of that is the thing you need to be focused on. Clean, easy, simple. Whatever that thing is what you need to be focused on. And if the answer to the question is no, that you would not do this if you had $20 million in the bank, this is the job for you to quit. Now, again, 3 out of 5. So, if that was your first no, then maybe you reconsider it. The fifth question says, do you feel like the best, most authentic version of yourself when you do your job, where and how you are doing your job? Because it's one thing to do the work. It's something else to put the context of the work you are doing in the location you are doing it in. Sometimes it's not the work. Sometimes it is just the location. Sometimes it is that you need to be in a different environment in order to really thrive and show up well. So that could be it. Location could be it. But if it is the work that you are doing and not just the location you are doing it in, then that is something to consider. And a lot of that will get cleared up when you ask yourself the fourth question, do I work this job only to pay the bills? Because when you think about the $20 million in your bank account and you think about whether or not you would get up and do the work that you're doing right now every day, give yourself the permission to imagine whether or not you could do the work, but someplace different. Is it the company or is it the work? Is it the city or state that you're in, or is it the work? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a combination of things that create your current life, particularly as it relates to your profession. So let's recap these 5 questions, because this is going to be, don't stay up all night trying to answer these questions. Just go with your gut. The answer is yes, then it's yes. If the answer is no, then it's no. And please listen, if the answer is no to all 5 of these, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that gives you a clean answer to know whether or not you should quit your job. Because that's really the whole point of this video, right? Like, it's to help you use some sort of guide to know whether or not quitting your job is in fact the right thing for you to do. So here are the 5 questions. Question number 1, does this job serve my big picture? When I close my eyes and think about the version of my life that I want to be living in, does this job serve my big picture? Question number 2, do I have a deeper sense of connection to or see more of my purpose revealing at this job? Does this job help me connect with my sense of being, with who I think I'm created to be? Is it helping me get curious and excited about uncovering more of that? Is this job serving me in that way, right? One of the things I want to say about that as I'm recapping the questions is that sometimes your calling can be connected to how you are called to serve. If you are allowing yourself to serve at your job and it's feeling fulfilling, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This question could be a yes. Yes, it is helping me because I feel so connected to the people that I'm serving that it is catharsis for me. It feels resonant in my soul and in my spirit. Third question, do I know with the unique sense of certainty what I am uniquely called and qualified to do? And second part, can I do that here? Knowing what you're called to do, but not having space to do it in the place where you're working is not going to create a fulfilling life, right? So it's one thing to say, oh yes, I know what I'm uniquely called and qualified to do. I'm great at this thing. I know I'm called to this thing. This thing is my thing. Cool. Can you do it where you are? Do they have space for you to do it? Will they make space for you to be your best, most beautiful, brightest self? Some companies don't make space for genius. Some they don't. It's their loss, but some companies don't make space for your genius. They just want you to do whatever their job description is. But if there's something that you know you are meant to and called to do, and that is your zone and area of genius, it's part of your created reason for being, then you need to be someplace where it's going to allow you the space to do that. Doesn't always mean you got to go start a business to do it. It just means you need to be someplace where they will allow your genius to shine as brightly as you know it can. Okay, question number 4. Do I work this job only to pay the bills? And my second caveat is anything that you're doing only for the purpose of making money, stop that today. It is blocking you. It is disconnecting you from your calling. You do not want to do that, okay? Last question. Do you feel like the best, most authentic version of yourself when you do your job where and how you are doing your job? If you can get through answering those 5 questions and the answer is yes to all of them, shout out to you. Disconnect from my channel because I'm not going to be able to help you. Just kidding. Don't unsubscribe. If your answer is yes to all those questions, great. 90%, the answers are all no. Those numbers don't add up. 90% of the people are going to say no to all of them because these questions represent the data that we see out in the marketplace right now, where so many people are dissatisfied with the work that they're doing. But the disconnect is that we haven't quite had language to describe it or how to talk about it. So my goal is to give you language for that and make it simple so that you can make a decision that serves your life, your big picture, your reason for being, so that you live a fulfilled, healthy, happy, and whole existence with the one life that you have, with the only time that you're going to get. It is serious because this is it. This is the one life you get to create, and you deserve to live a big, bold, beautiful life. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Uncultured show. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. If you are coming back for more, make sure you are up to date on all the things. Make sure your alerts are on for us. If you want to watch another video, I'm going to link 2 right here that I think will be good follow-up for this. But no matter what you do, share this with someone so that we can keep this conversation going about what it means for you to tap into the life that you have, this one big old beautiful life that you get to have. You get to create it, you get to design it, and no matter what anyone has ever said to you before, you do in fact deserve to live a life that you absolutely love. See you next time.